All right, welcome back to Two Stupid Guys Trade Stocks. I'm Vinny,
I'm Dylan.
and today is one of those news articles. We're going to address a couple of things about Alibaba, favorite stock. I know some people have gotten sick of hearing about it, but a lot of my own personal money's in this stock, so it's something I pay attention to. A lot of the viewers too, right?
Yeah, 15K here. So if you like this kind of interesting stock market trade stuff, oh boy, we're just two stupid guys trying to figure this out. Go ahead and give us a like and subscribe.
All right, we'll get to it.
Two stupid guys trade stocks.
I figured a frowning Jack Ma was appropriate for this thumbnail.
Yeah, I don't even know if he's really involved in the company, but yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you know how it goes. Yeah, this is basically the crux of the article here. A little Christmas gift to Alibaba shareholders, where the Chinese Communist Party, through their equivalent to the SEC, basically released a draft of new regulations that would basically be the first governmental approval, I guess, of the VIE structure.
You heard it here too. Governmental is how we're going to say that.
Governmental.
Government what?
Governmental, yeah. That's the whole question mark here. Is people have, the people that have kind of had these worries about Alibaba in terms of its regulatory environment have basically said that this structure that they use, the VIE, was not legal under Chinese law. This is kind of the first time that the Chinese Communist Party is addressing that in kind of an open forum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So that was kind of why it was big news. Unfortunately, the stock kind of had a positive opening the next market day and then went down. May or may not have been related to something else. We're going to talk about that one in this video too. But you want to walk through this headline here.
This is just an article from CNBC, just trying to sum up everything. But basically, the proposed rules said an overseas listing could be stopped if authorities deemed it a threat to national security. That's the big part. Domestic companies need to comply with relevant provisions. They basically need to not put any national security at risk. That's all this is saying. So the next slide, I put some headlines because it's really funny to see like some companies who clearly hate Baba and some companies who the writers definitely invested in Baba.
Yeah.
So like Barron's was China issued new rules for overseas listings, Baba stock falls. So you're automatically thinking this is bad. There's other articles that say it's going to be delisted. And then there's Alibaba stock looks to be out of the woods. Tread carefully.
Yeah, it is entirely entertaining how differently people can have these diverging takes on like the same position. For me, this only really supports something that was kind of my thought process, honestly, anyways. They had never tacitly approved it, but they've been allowing the structure to take place for 20 years. Like, what was going to change now? And not only that, but them directly kind of having a negative impact upon the structure also would lose some trust in terms of the international capital markets and be a prudent economy or steward of your economy. It seems like that'd be something you wouldn't want to do.
No, because then it wouldn't just be Baba shareholders that are screwed. It's every Chinese stock.
Yeah, exactly.
So also on that thing, this was really funny. On December 1st, Bloomberg released an article saying that China is going to plan to ban initial public offerings and foreign exchanges through VIEs.
Yeah.
So the stock dropped because everyone's like freaking out.
Yeah.
And then it comes out that, no, we're not going to do that. We don't get all that money back from a false rumor, though. The stock just stays down.
True. Yeah, exactly. This article actually mentions that Bloomberg thing too. This is kind of like the main article that I looked at as far as this goes. The South China Morning Post, a subsidiary of Alibaba, if you will, that talked about this whole thing. They weren't so bullish or anything like that about this, but basically they just hit the headline as far as the CRSC, which is, like I said, once again, that's the Chinese equivalent to the SEC. Usually putting out this draft and they're asking for public comments, which is interesting, soliciting public opinion through January 23rd as to what the Chinese public thinks about this new set of regulations around allowing the VIE structure. This whole thing honestly reads to me as like we should call it the DD rule.
The DD rule? Yeah, that can make sense.
They're basically saying it's good as long as you don't pull a DD.
Yeah. Fair.
and they'll just like flat out ignore us when we tell you that you should not be carrying through an IPO. This article talks a little bit about how like the Hong Kong index has underperformed this year. This is that Bloomberg article, erroneous December 1st Bloomberg article that China was going to ban IPOs. That's I wonder if that was a short attack. You think Bill Ackman was in on this?
Well, the stock went from at that time 128 to 107. Solid like 18% there drop. And even though that was completely and utterly false and a complete lie, we're still chilling around 114, so that's good.
Yeah. Hey, man, if you were shorted at that point, I guess you made some good, solid profits. That's for sure. But basically, like I said, the whole thing they talk right here about Didi and its $4.4 billion IPO, despite warnings from regulators. Like they were saying, don't do it. They did it, and they got punished for it. Like I don't know how people conflate what happened to Didi with what has happened with Alibaba. They're not in the same boat as far as I'm concerned in terms of their position with the Chinese Communist Party at this point in time.
Not at all. Not even close.
Yeah. They talk about the fact that the Chinese have allowed this structure since 2000. Though not explicitly approved, it's been in place since that long. And the VIE structure itself dates back even further than that. I want to say it was like 1920s, maybe. So it's pretty old in terms of using VIE. There are plenty of companies like Shell and a lot of European companies that use the VIE structures as well. But the other interesting point here was that under this mechanism that they would be able to work with other overseas regulatory counterparts, meaning this helps pave the way for the CSRC to work with the SEC in terms of regulating these companies that are based in China but are listed in the United States.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Interesting.
It is.
So the unfortunate part, I think that part of the reason why Alibaba had that pop in the morning and then kind of dropped throughout the day is that they also had this headline come out here. A different kind of aspect of the Chinese government summoned Alibaba along with several other e-commerce giants. I don't know if did you see this story?
Mm-hmm.
No. So apparently live streaming is like a big way they sell products in China. It's
like,
only been
like QVC or something?
Kind of, yeah, but like through mobile devices, right? And they only started doing it in 2017, but it's already over like I want to say it's like $150 billion market. It was somewhere in that ballpark. So it's a pretty substantial market, and it's growing at like 200% per year, like phenomenally fast. All right. So the Chinese government, particularly, was one province, Zhejiang province. They actually watch the Singles Day live streams from some of these, kind of e-commerce folks. And they found that they were breaking rules. I think they estimate around 30% of them broke some rule regarding, the things that kind of make sense. I'm going to look at this other consumer rights article that has a little bit more as far as like what the rules actually were. But yeah, about 30% of live streamers monitoring Singles Day selling products did not comply with the regulations. And these are not like.
So wait, was it the product they were selling that wasn't allowed?
Yeah, it's not. The product wasn't banned, but something about it was not properly being disclosed. That was kind of the point here is that let's see.
Lipstick King.
Yeah, the Lipstick King. Very, very interesting. I mean, this is quite a image he's got going on here.
Okay.
But the point was like things like that they did not comply with labeling was one of the things. Let's see. Banned from being sold, also planned a credit system of live streamers. Basically, what they wanted, so $157 billion market size, is that they wanted more control over these products in terms of they were labeled improperly or they weren't delivering the actual proper size of the products, things like that. This is a consumer protection thing, and then they're working with these e-commerce companies to try to crack down on that.
All right. It's nice to see Baba thrown in with JD and PDD and not just Baba's bad, everything else is good. That's nice.
Yeah, I agree. This isn't like anything too particularly onerous. It's certainly something that they're going to have to work on, and like what the answers are there. That's not something I'm involved with, but it's definitely something that had a little bit of a negative impact because that headline, right? You see like, oh, Alibaba's getting summoned because of their Taobao platform.
Well, I mean, we just looked at some title articles. It's kind of ridiculous compared to information. It's very clickbaity.
Yeah, agreed. So. One of the things I wanted to ask you when I look at the chart here, Gabriel W, frequent viewer and commenter of ours, thank you for watching, Michael.
Yeah, nice dude.
But he just said that he thinks there's a bear pennant forming and that Alibaba broke out of it today. I was just curious what your thought was on that.
I don't. So honestly, this level right here, 138 to 108. Okay. This is chop and trash, in my opinion. We're still following the 9 EMA until I see a move on volume going upwards. It's really hard to say that we broke out of anything because this is such a low one. This week in particular, after Christmas, stuff just doesn't move that much. Yeah. And if it does move, it's on really low volume. I mean, the Qs alone, like look at the volume on this. Like it just drops off drastically during this week all the time. Yeah. So it's really hard to do valid technical analysis like the last 2 weeks of December. You could argue that, but I just think that this is just going to go down, back up until we have some volume spike in a direction.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, definitely. My thesis, completely unproven and unvalidated as of yet, was that in January we're going to start to see the reversal of that tax loss harvesting and people moving back into Alibaba, and that that'll be a good catalyst for a bull run of some sort.
Yeah, I might buy some more. I'm debating that.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, let us know. What do you think about these news stories, whether or not they affect your investing thesis on Alibaba?
Or if you're buying more or less.
That works too. Selling it all. Thanks for vacation. Cancun, I hear, is nice.
Yeah.
See you guys in the next one.